Okay, alright, yeah, fuck all you scrubs, fuck you all, yeah. Okay, so today I want to talk about, guard cancel. Guard cancel is a field of play that many new players don't know what the fuck they're doing. And to be fair, that's expected because it's fucked and it's stupid and really strange. So I'm gonna go through it and hopefully you guys will understand. Again, as always, if you don't like bad language, just leave. I don't care. Alright, cool. So, guard cancels. First, what are guard cancels? In general, in all games, in all anime games nowadays, you could do stuff while in block. Anything along that line is either called like a dead angle or blah blah blah, or dead angle, counter assault. What the fuck do they call it in Persona? Okay, whatever. You got bunkers in Melty, blah. Okay. In this game, they're called guard cancels. I'm not sure if that's an official name, but they're pretty much just guard cancels anyway. And many new players in this particular game have trouble using them because the uses are not clear cut. They kind of go into other uses, which is quite confusing compared to something like counter assault where you press the buttons and your attack comes out and that's it. You know what I mean? There's not much else to happen, so it's a nice, one-way street. Whereas in this game, it opens up a whole bunch of paths and it's like, what the fuck? And it can be very difficult for many new players to get a grip on. So first, I'm going to talk about the guard cancel types. I'm going to tell you how to use them, okay? Or at least my idea of how to use them. If you want to disagree, then whatevs. I will not be telling you how to bait them. That is a whole new bag of worms I don't really care about talking about. Thing is if you're able to use them, that will get you further than if you can bait them, at least. So it's important that you know how to use them first, and after that you learn how to bait them, as your opponents also learn how to use them. Okay. Also, yes, this video is not just for newbies and scrubs, it is for anyone that doesn't know what the fuck to do with guard cancel. Alright, cool. First, guard cancel types. Alright, so there's four. There's forwards guard cancel, back guard cancel, air forwards guard cancel, and air back guard cancel. Now, first we're going to do the input. Okay, for the forwards guard cancel, it's basically forward and D while you're in block stun, or basically anything but back B, back D. Actually, no, you know what? Let me just explain forwards guard cancel. So when you're in block stun, you press a D button with anything but back, and you get this massive yellow glowing shield. This shield is Clash from frame 1, and it's invincible while it's out. Okay, or rather, your character is fairly invincible while it's out. You also have a certain amount of throw invincibility. So first, let me show you some stuff. When you guard cancel, all right, the first property of guard cancel is after a few frames you're able to act with anything except jump. Okay, this is because you go into the forwards D motion, right? So when you go into the forwards D motion, you realize you can't jump for shit. This also means you can't stop, okay, and you have to commit to a button. It's not as fast as it here, but let's take a look. I'll show you. So you block cancel into a button. So after a while, you can guard cancel, get your yellow shield, clash, and you can do buttons after a certain amount of time, no matter what. Let's show you again. Wow, I'm fucking bad. What was I doing? Cool. Now, shit, I realized I didn't even have my input display on. Fuck. Let me get my input display on. Ooh, there is my input display. Cool. So let me do it again so you can see it. Cool. So as you can see, after a certain amount of time, after you have the yellow shield, you can guard cancel after yellow shield during block stun, get a yellow shield, you can press buttons after a certain amount of time. Another thing is, before that, you can actually special cancel. Well, fuck, whoops. Just started mashing for the effect. Wow, I'm shit. There. So, when you do your your yellow shield, your forwards guard cancel, first, you can special cancel into any special you want. Okay. Second, you can do any action. Now, just to make sure, because I haven't done this before, but I'm pretty sure that does not include extend force, I think. Does not include extend force. You can't extend force from 4D, 6D. Cool. Well, even I've learned something new today, but I think. Okay, cool, whatever. So you can't extend force. So you can do everything except jump and extend force and start another homing. Or crouch or whatever. Okay. So that's forwards guard cancel. So you've got a bit of invincibility. You get a clashing shield. Okay. You know what? This character is really bad for showing that actually, but here you can see the invincibility because it's actually supposed to be a 2-hit attack, but there it is, 1 hit only, because the invincible goes through it, or invincibility frames goes through it rather, and you get a clashing shield. If an attack that can clash hits it, it will clash. I'm not going to go over clash. You learn that by yourself. Next is the back guard cancel. Back guard cancel does this kind of like 4D kind of motion. It's kind of like a backdash like that, right? It's slower than the normal 4D, okay, but it has more invincibility and it can be special cancelled in the air. It can be normal cancelled as soon as you touch the ground. So, for example, you see here the 4D or the 4 guards cancel. I'm probably going to call it 4D from now. The 4D in block stun puts you into the air first and then puts you onto the ground. Once you touch the ground, you can do normals. See? While you're in the air, you can cancel the specials. Now what I did there was Connor's parachute into a button, which is very good. But the thing is you can't cancel it instantly, or at least from my knowledge and from my experience, you can't do it instantly. Because if I could do it instantly, I'll get hit by the second hit of the 5C. But yeah, that's guard cancel back. You get in full invincibility during that backwards, during the whole backwards thing. While you're in the air. Once you touch the ground, your invincibility stops. Before you touch the ground, you can do air specials. This is great for characters like Heart, because Heart has an aerial DP. This means that if you do pressure, she can just backwards guard cancel and just dragon. This also means that she can also, with the whole forwards guard cancel thing, if she guard cancels forward, she can also dragon. So, yeah, dragon punches are really fucking good. Air forwards guard cancel. Actually, another thing about backwards guard cancel is actually it puts you into this kind of like homing state where you can also not jump, not whatever. Okay. Another thing as well is that during these motions you can't block. So if you get red, you get fucked, and that's how things should be. Now, air forwards guard cancel is basically an air version of the guard cancel. Okay, cool. And instead it goes into air homing. Now that's interesting because air homing you can block. So that's pretty good. Backwards air one, same thing, you can block. Actually, you know what? I didn't even show it. But it goes into air backwards homing, and after a while you can block. Whereas on the ground one, at no point can you block. Cool. So those are the 4 guard cancel types, and I've shown you the inputs for them. You just press 4D while in block stun. You press 6D while in block stun. Actually, you can also do 1D. I'm pretty sure, and also you can do like with like the air guards cancel. You can do any D button, so you can just do neutral if you want. Okay, guard cancel usage now. Let's see, should I do it against this cancel? Yes, okay, cool. So first, I'm going to show you now that we know how to do them. Oh, did I show you it takes 1 bar? Okay, no, my settings are fucked. Let me show you. I did forget to say, it actually does take, it takes 1 homing meter at the bottom. So if you look at the bottom, it takes 1 gauge to do so. This is why if you get caught with no meter, you are fucking dead. Because they will just run all this infinite shit on you. Okay. Guard cancel usage now. Okay, take a deep breath. This is the part where most new players struggle because, cool, you understand that you get some invincibility if you backdash, you get some clash frames if you do a forward. How do you actually integrate this into your game to get something useful? Because I see people randomly just 4D and they die, and they randomly 6D and they also die. So in the end, people are like, what do I do to, how do I get out of pressure, and how does this actually any useful? So first, let's talk about block strings, then I'm going to talk about mix-ups, then I'm going to talk about unclashables, versus pressure resets and air block strings. I think I'm also supposed to be talking about guard crushes, but to be honest, that will go under mix-ups. So alright, cool. So first, I've got here Char Plant. Char Plant is the number 1, or number 2, or number 3, number 4. Right, she's one of the top scrub killers. 100%. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're going to get deaded by Char. Why? Because her 5C reaches this far, and if she plays plant, her 5C reaches this far and she can get a combo from it. So actually, you know, first I'm going to record a 5C plant into block. So I've got set it to block now, low block. First, let's talk about block strings. This block string is the most common thing you ever see when you come fight a sharp player. It's 5C Vine. Let's talk about this in bits of in like 2 sets as well. First, let's talk about forwards guard cancel. Now, forwards guard cancel has this invul. The Vine itself cannot be clashed, neither can Charles 5C. So, using this invulnerability, you can make attacks whiff. Okay, so for example, okay, I've made the Vine entirely whiff, even though it's unclashable. Okay, that's because of the invincibility of this thing. If you do it too early, however, the invincibility will end and you will die. So you kind of have to you kind of gotta time your shit. Also, if you don't do it soon enough, you just get like a 60 and you die. See that? See? This also goes for another basic block string such as 2A5C. Now, 2A5C is what, you know, like any character can do 2A5C, but Charles is unclashable. So what happens is this. Bam, bam, bam. I'm so shit. All right, whatever. So you can use it to go around unclashable block strings like that. You know what? I'm gonna change character because she doesn't have any clashable block strings. I'm gonna use Weiss, okay? And the reason why I'm gonna use Weiss is that she's like number one. She's also a pretty strong scrub kill character. She also has really strong block strings that you need to really take care with. I've also got a very, I'm not saying very strong, but he's very competent. I have a very competent Weiss to play with, so I know what the fuck I'm doing. So let's record some shit. Okay, basic string 2ABC. Now, if you've played any fighting game ever, 2ABC is normally really safe. I'm gonna show you why it's not in this game. Not with forward guard cancel though. Alright, so first, forward guard cancel, remember it has the clashing shield. This lets you act as soon as the clash happens. Remember that clashes will reset you both to the same kind of like advantage, you know? You both will be able to choose an action. That means it forces I'd say I'm gonna call it RPS, right? It's not exactly RPS, but let's call it that. You know, just everyone makes a choice right now. 1, 2, 3, bang. Okay, except you only get 22 frames to do so. Okay. Now, with this, if your opponent is really on autopilot, you can just guard cancel to dragon. Okay, but what you can also do is you can also make them fuck up their block string by say for example they did 2A, 2B, 5C. Okay, if you guard cancel the 2A, you clash the 2B, and they do 5C, you press a button, they die. So, god, oh shit, that's fast. Bam bam. See? So if they autopilot their string 1, 2, 3, that will beat the shit out of them. Also, if they do strings like that, you can just go guard cancel dragon because they're really close to you. So if your opponent is really close to you when you do strings like this, you can just hit them with a dragon punch or a fast special. So you can see how like if your special is fast enough, it will hit her before she even gets to clash with the 5C. This is the problem with attacks that are slow. If they're slow, you get into situations like this where people can attack you before your move even comes out, even though the block stun was tight. Because it's 2A, 2B, 5C, chained. The block stun was tight. They still hit you in between 2B and 5C. This is with Weiss. Okay. Other characters probably doesn't apply. Also, against good players, doesn't apply. They're not going to do 2A, 5B, 2A, 2B, 5C that predictably for that to work out. However, dragon punches are invincible, so even if they like clash and then they do 2A, your dragon punch will beat them. This, however, does not mean that they don't have options to beat you, but to be honest, we're going to clash battles and I can't be asked. Now, that's one set of block strings. I might have forgotten some, but you can always ask me about any other, like, whatever. The next thing is backwards guard cancel. Now, backwards guard cancel gives you invul. Okay, the thing about invul is, as expected, with invul, you're meant to just make moves with. Now, if you make moves with that are fast, you will die because it will recover and then hit you again anyway. But if you invul an attack that is slow, so I'm gonna record 2ABC. Wait, I'm gonna record 2ABC into block. Wait, what am I doing? Cool. 2ABC block. that move has a ton of recovery, but I'll show you. You can make the attack whiff and harvest your combo. That's because your opponent was very, very predictable. If your opponent is predictable, you can guard cancel their C attacks and blow them up. If they, you can even do this with like, oh shit. I don't know the time of mine. If they do a B attack and you guard cancel a B attack, you might not get a punish because B attacks recover fairly quickly. However, you will, on making it whiff, at least be able to turn tides. If you guard cancel a 2A, you are fucking dead. Sorry, backwards guard cancel a 2A. I think that's enough. So, okay, you will probably die. The idea is that if your opponent reacts to the 2A getting guard cancelled, he'll stop mashing and dash up in 5B and you die. It's hard to show because this game doesn't have 2-player training and I don't have any friends. Oh, well, I do have friends, but I have no one here right now, so I won't be able to show you anyway. But yes, the point of using backwards guard cancel is to bait long recovery attacks. Also, you are able to do specials. So, for example, if I bring Weiss to the corner here, Weiss is in the corner, are probably going to mash intense buttons on you. Now, as Konoha can do parachute, so you can end up doing shit like this. If your opponents are predictable, there, see? I cancelled my backwards guard cancel into air parachute, cancelled my air parachute into a button and hit her. So this is how I got like a whole bunch of free combos versus, wow. I got a whole bunch of free combos versus like Bowser, because what he would do to me is he would do, like a Weiss player would do this a lot, is they'll jump up, actually that's bad, jump up, button, block string, okay, like that. Really standard autopilot style play, great. I'm gonna put myself into the corner and I will blow it up right now. Bam. Okay, don't be predictable and you will not get fucked. That is how this game works. If you're predictable, even doing something as safe as what you'd think, or rather, what you'd think is safe, even something like 2AA is unsafe. Just be careful. Okay, so that's how to use it against block strings on the ground, at least. So, just a quick overview. Use forwards guard cancel to force a clash, get some RPS going. Use backwards guard cancel to make a long recovery attack whiff to get a punish. A medium attack, medium recovery attack to get momentum, and if you do 2A you die. Okay, kind of. Now, you could also guard cancel and do special cancels. So, guard cancel forward into dragon, backwards guard cancel into probably dragon. Cool, great, whatever. Now, mix-ups. Now, I'm gonna switch character for this. I'm gonna use my favorite character, Konoha versus Konoha. So, while we talk about this, when you do a forwards guard cancel, you get a clash. When you do a backwards guard cancel, you get involved. Should not choose me. This also means that because you get full body clash and full body invol, you get to dodge a mix-up basically. However, chances are if you dodge a mix-up, you'd probably die anyway in terms of backwards guard cancel. So for this, I'm going to show you what forwards guard cancel like. Now, let's see if I can get this recording to work out properly. BNB. Boop, 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 boop. Whoops. I don't play wind. Bro, my recording ran out. Okay. Cool. Now, what you can do, okay, let me explain the setup first. That setup is, you summon a wind pit, that's meaty, or very close to, and then after you do the wind pit, you parachute into jump C. And it's very ambiguous because you can go to jump C or you just don't parachute at all and you just land and kill them. Now, what you can do is when you get hit by the mix-up, or rather when you block the meaty like projectile, you can clash the mix-up, because the mix-up does the guard cancel shield does not discriminate between overheads, lows, cross up overheads, cross up lows, whatevs. Okay, it will not discriminate. So if you're able to block something and then someone tries to do a mix-up with you meaty, so for example, Konoha does like a wind pit, and then she sticks an overhead in you, even though she doesn't really have any, you can guard cancel the overhead. You can guard cancel the boomerang, okay, and then crash the overhead. That should be as clear as it gets. That is how you get out of mix-ups. This is the same for things like guard crushes. Like if somebody if somebody does something like this, that's probably not got enough block stun. You know what? What does have enough block stun? Cool. Up. Okay, let's try that. Cool. See, that 5E by the way is a guard crush. So if you get hit by it, you'll probably get comboed. So if you can block an attack prior to when they do a mix-up, you can guard cancel and catch the mix-up. Also, depending on the speed of the mix-up, you can probably special cancel and blow them up anyway. Now, that is the same also for backwards guard cancel. Backwards guard cancel into backwards involt animation. The issue is that it's kind of weird to show. What I will show you is a way to get out of like guard crushes, because when someone does a guard crush in this game, like they hit one of those raw, because you know what? Okay, when someone does one of these raw, okay, if you get hit by this in the corner, okay, or if you block it, you will get comboed because you can't tech, you can't do shit. Okay, if they do it raw, you also don't have any block stun to guard cancel with. Or actually, since we're talking about guard cancel, I don't know why I'm talking about that. Well, basically, if you block something like that, you can backwards guard cancel and make it with. Okay, that's great because 5Es have very long recovery. So I guess I'll show it. Let's see. How the fuck am I gonna show this? Cool. What else? If you block an attack, you can also backwards guard cancel and then dodge it. See? Cool. So I don't know why I was talking about fucking 4D by itself. I'll talk about that another time because that's really important, but you'll get that. So yeah, mix-ups. Use the clash and the invul to make mix-ups obsolete. Sorry, obsolete, but you know, there's another layer to it, but whatever. Unclashables. I actually went over unclashables already, but just in case. What happens with an unclashable is if you have your golden shield, okay, during the time an unclashable attack hits you, what happens is the attack just whiffs because you're invul, okay, but you've got clash. With unclashables, because obviously you can't be clashed, instead it just hits invul. So bam, bang. Wait, whoa. Okay, I did not choose the right arcana for this. Cool. So, whoa, mix up, boy. See, see, the 5C is unclashable. I'm involved. Nothing happens. Because nothing happens, his attack whiffs. I get a punish. Cool. Okay, that's the easy way to use it against unclashable. I do not know why I did it against plant, but I didn't do it against plant. But yeah, it will also work against plant. So plant vine is also unclashable. Just 60 through it, well timed 60. Go through it, get a punish. Cool. Versus pressure resets. Oh my god. Okay, cool. Okay, so I call it pressure resets. I put those in like quotes because I don't actually know what the fuck people call them. But think about attacks that are like plus 1 million, like actual ton of fucking block stun. And if you block it, they will, you know, they get pressure. Cool. And what happens when they just keep doing that attack? Like, let's see if my bot will actually do what I think it will do. Yeah, I forgot she can't actually dash to A. That's a bit shit. Anyways, yeah. So that move is +1 block. Okay, you can use your imagination. If you keep blocking this, if you keep blocking 2A 5C barge, 2A 5C barge, 2A 5C barge, when the fuck do you actually get out? There's no gaps for you to jump. Blah blah blah. Okay, the thing about most pressure reset attacks, or most attacks of this nature, is while they have a lot of block stun, they also have a lot of recovery. if they have a lot of recovery, you can make them whiff. Sorry, no, you can make them whiff, but that's not one point. That's not one point. You can actually guard cancel to eliminate the block stun and get a punish on them. So, for example, actually, let me set this to block. What am I talking about? Okay, into block, yeah? Cool. Oh, whoops. Gotta get close. Block it. Bam, bam. Okay. While you don't get a punish, or while I didn't get a punish, I actually managed to at least get him to block, which is a reversal of situation. That's great. Why dash punch too slow? Okay, cool. There's a punish. And I would not like to punish with Conar's DP because it does like barely any damage, but yeah, there you have it. Pressure resets. While they are plus on block, a lot of the time they have high recovery. Just cancel the recovery, go into a quick special bam bam. If you don't get a punish, you at least get them to block, and that means it's your turn. Hopefully. Well, you know, hopefully they also don't guard cancel your attempt, but yeah, there it is. Okay. This also goes for times what other characters have like really strong pressure resets? Nah. I guess I could talk about clashable pressure resets, which is like you do it with like. Okay, let's see. Sometimes people will also use projectiles to extend their pressure. Great. What's the problem with what you can do against pressure, other than the whole like no, sorry. The thing about projectile pressure resets is normally they don't have much recovery at all. A lot of it is in, you know, it's fast. They also don't have a lot of recovery, so if you guard cancel, you'll never get a punish on them. What you can do on most projectiles is actually, whoa, is it that slow? Fuck me. Alright, let me change arcana. Where's my fucking start button? Da 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 da. I'll do wind. Perfect. Cool. Blah 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 blah. Cool. Do 5C. Bang. Cool. So my character's fucking small. There. Okay. So now you're gonna have to take my word for it, but the boomerang is plus on block even at point blank. Now, what you can do is you can also clash projectiles into jump. I think my character actually like. I think my character actually deducts it. Oh fuck! Why? All right, let's do another one. Cool. See, you get the clash projectile. You get the clash on the projectile itself, and then well, I would jump if I wasn't fucking bad at this game. Shit. This is a lot harder to do than I remember. Okay, well, you gotta take my word for it. You can clash it and jump. I don't know why I can't fucking do it to this boomerang, this thing. I just can't fucking jump. Right, well, whatever. But yeah, you can also clash pressure resets like that, and then jump out. So those are projectile ones, and unclashable, long recovery ones. You can guard cancel into special. I don't know many other pressure resets. There's a lot of people use like jumps to pressure reset, and you don't really guard cancel to beat those. Now, air block strings. Air block strings are kind of what they sound like. They're block strings done in the air. The point of block strings in the first place is to get either advantageous positioning, or to set up a mix-up, or just make your opponent scared, basically. Now, let me just quickly record a basic air block string. No, not a basic air block string. A basic start to an air block string. Okay, so what I've done there is AB. Okay, so if I jump up and I block AB. Okay, she can jump cancel that and get a mix up, get, you know, whatevs. Okay, I'll be the one in blocks, I'm the one who's under pressure. Now, if your opponent is really predictable with this, or they keep going for the same string, and this happens a lot, by the way. People go for the same string because AB combos. Like, if you get hit by AB, it will combo you. But if you block AB, it's also a block string. So what's the downside to this air block string? The downside is guard cancels. For this particular air block string, I'm going to talk about back D, because forward D is pretty forwards guard cancel is pretty funny. Not a big fan, but backwards guard cancel is amazing for this, because what happens is, well, you can just make their attack whiff and you can go in on them. So, whoa. Okay, now you probably won't get to actually punish them unless you've got really good moves to do so, but what you will be able to do is make them with an air attack going upwards. Okay, if you make them with an air attack and they're going upwards, they have to accept the full recovery of their attack, because they're not going to be able to land cancel because they're moving up. And what happens is you then fly on them and you get momentum. Great. The next thing is air unblockables. If you've played against like any decent Shao, they will do that to you at some point. Actually, you know what? Fuck that. Let's do even better one. Okay. So, fuck. Wait. That's playing. What? Wait, is my stick fucked? Oh, fuck you. All right. Well. So you block. Okay. Actually, let me show you this first. That attack is air unblockable. 2E. Everyone's 2E is air unblockable. What you can do is you can use the invul. Oh god. Well, invul and positioning to oh Jesus Christ. Invul and positioning to dodge a 4D. Oh sorry, a 2E. Okay, or a 5E. Same thing. You can also crash it. That will avoid the air unblockable. So that's against air block strings. That also counts as a mix-up technically, but you can also guard cancel to dodge air unblockables. That is the most important thing when you're fighting against Nazuna, because if you don't do that, she's just gonna stick fucking 2B into your ass, and you will die 100% free each time. So she will like make you block some shit in the air. You're like, oh man, I'm blocks them now, and you get scooped. Use guard cancels to dodge those. About air block strings, quick stuff with air block strings. You can make certain normals in an air block string with, and use that to your advantage. Now, I hope that's been useful. It was a very long video. I messed up a whole bunch of shit. Yeah, forgive me. Except no one forgives me on the internet, so whatever's in it. Right, thanks for watching.